Donna Brazile, the former DNC chair, set off a firestorm of activity in the political world on social media and in the so-called mainstream media when an excerpt from her new book, Hacks, the inside story of the break-ins and breakdowns that put Donald Trump in the White House, was revealed in a recent political article titled Inside Hillary Clinton's Secret Takeover of the DNC. At the beginning of the article, she explains how she promised Bernie Sanders she'd get to the bottom of answering the question of whether or not Clinton and her team had rigged the nomination process against him. This was after the prior DNC chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz had stepped down due to information revealed in leaks. In the article, she states that she had her suspicions, but she wanted to find proof herself. Now, one of the things I like about this article is how she throws numerous Democrats under the bus. She exposes how broke the DNC was due to mismanagement by Wasserman Schultz, and even criticized former President Barack Obama for leaving the party in significant debt due to his neglect. On this point, Donna Brazile, in my opinion, is being a little gentle. Obama's neglect of the Democratic Party goes beyond having too many staffers on payroll. Appointing Debbie Wasserman Schultz to lead the DNC in the first place was a huge appointment disaster on his part. However, she also exposes just how the Clinton machine was able to wield as much power in the party as they were able to, and that they were positioned for this takeover way before Hillary Clinton came anywhere close to tying up the nomination. As a matter of fact, nearly a full year before she sealed the deal. You see, according to Brazile, Obama left the party $24 million in debt, and his campaign wasn't set to pay it off until 2016. So in swoops the Hillary for America campaign and the Hillary Victory Fund. Both groups collectively settled 80% of the remaining debt. For the debt that was left, Hillary Clinton and her associates put the DNC on financial life support, barely enough to keep the lights on. It was essentially a way for Team Clinton to control the DNC with their deep pockets. But you see, it was even deeper than that. This move not only gave Team Clinton an unjustified level of control over the DNC, but it also hurt down ballot races. What the Hillary Victory Fund would do is they'd funnel hundreds of thousands of dollars, totaling, at the end of the day, millions of dollars, of contributions through non-battleground states and then transfer those funds to the DNC. This is key because they wanted to keep money in the battleground states for the obvious reasons. But if you were in a state that the DNC didn't think mattered, you were left high and dry with zero financial backing from the party. So when that money was funneled to the DNC, it was then funneled back to Brooklyn, which is where Team Clinton was headquartered. Now, some of this information had been revealed way back in May of 2016 in a political article that goes into much more detail about the system the Clinton campaign had set up. Back then, though, no one knew the money was going to Brooklyn after reaching the DNC. People just thought it went to the DNC, and then the money went from the DNC to handle local and state election business. But leaked DNC emails also shed light on this and went even further. What Donna Brazile exposed last Thursday on the 2nd basically just confirms what we already knew. WikiLeaks, which, I've questioned their agenda in the past, but in this particular case, they've been vindicated. Bernie Sanders supporters on the left have also been vindicated by these admissions by Donna Brazile. What's crazy, though, is how Clinton surrogates attacked Bernie Sanders spring of last year, so spring of 2016, for not doing more for down-ballot races. They actually criticized Bernie Sanders for not doing more. The nerve of these damn people. They attacked Sanders in an effort to force him to do what they wanted him to do, basically. All the while, Clinton was draining non-battle states dry of funding. Now we see why Democrats have lost over 1,000 seats in state legislatures all over the country since Obama has taken office. On top of governor races, on top of congressional races. Yes, voter suppression, especially post-2013, has played in a very significant role. You can also blame the Democrats' inability to channel truly progressive populist left ideas and allowing right-wing faux populism to take hold via Donald Trump. However, it's also just plain mismanagement of resources within the DNC. It's the DNC refusing to implement a 50-state strategy and not giving local and state Democrats a platform and support to truly compete. Check this out. All in all, the states kept less than half of 1%. So less than 0.5% of $82 million they had amassed from all of the fundraisers Clinton's campaign had held. So we're talking about mere hundreds of thousands of dollars that was supposed to go to Democrats running in states all over the country. A few $100,000, if that, spread out over 50 states. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. Like, that is a major contributing factor for why the Democrats are in such a bad state across the country as they are right now, on top of everything else. So before the article ended, Brazile laid out the joint fundraising agreement that she discovered between the DNC, the Victory Fund, and Hillary for America, because that was the key to all of this. The joint fundraising agreement specified that in exchange for raising money and investing in the DNC, basically handling their debt, Hillary would control the party's finances, strategy, and all money raised. Her campaign had the right of refusal of who would be the party communications director. It would make final decisions on all the other staff as well. The DNC also was required to consult with the campaign about all other staffing, budgeting, data, analytics, and mailings. That is what a takeover looks like, folks. And as I said earlier in this video, Brazile exposed that this agreement was signed by the Clinton team and the DNC back in August of 2015, just 4 months after Hillary Clinton announced her candidacy. Now, some Clinton supporters online and in the corporate media have tried to attack Donna Brazile various ways after the release of this article. They've tried to claim that the agreement was only meant to apply to the general election and not the primary, and that's been exposed as a lie because, as Glenn Greenwald of The Intercept has pointed out, all you have to do is read the agreement itself and you'd see that there was a throwaway disclaimer paragraph that used, quote, lawyer language to try to explain away what the rest of the agreement had stated, so it was contradictory. They were basically just covering their ass. Specifically giving the Clinton campaign control over key matters during the primary season, not the general. So the notion that, the agreement didn't apply to the primary is a lie. Then you have people like Governor Ed Rendell pushing the same tired line of not looking in the past and only looking to the future. When you hear politicians say that, then they're about to cover some shit up. Or they're about to try to anyway. Gerald Ford pardoned Richard Nixon in 1974 after Watergate. Bill Clinton sent signals after George H.W. Bush wasn't reelected that he wouldn't push further on uncovering the depths of his illegal actions around the Contra scandal. So, for those that don't know, George H.W. Bush pardoned like 6 people tied to Iran-Contra mere weeks after losing the election and weeks before leaving office, and Clinton refused to press the issue. Sounds a lot like what Donald Trump might end up trying to do with regards to this whole FBI investigation. He might just end up pardoning people, and that's not without precedent. So, Bill Clinton was looking forward, not backward. Obama did the same damn thing after Bush Jr. left office, and he didn't launch investigations into Bush Jr.'s criminality and his illegal war crimes. So they have these built-in ways to cover for each other and make sure the American state keeps on ticking so that the scope of their criminality is not completely exposed and people who have broken the law at the highest levels don't see jail time. Now, Hillary Clinton's takeover of the DNC does not come anywhere close to the level of criminality as historic scandals like Watergate or Iran-Contra, but you see the same logic being used to protect her by the establishment figures like Ed Rendell. There have been a number of excuses and attacks levied at Donna Brazile over the past few days. What's clear is this: when this story is combined with what we already know about voter suppression and the suspect nature of voter suppression in various states across the country, like Arizona, California, New York, etc., one can see that there might be an even bigger story waiting to explode here. I, for one, don't believe Clinton's influence stopped at controlling the National Party. I believe her campaign also had influence within various states, too. This shows how deeply flawed our democracy is in America. If you can truly call it that at this point, maybe you can on paper and in theory. In function, however, America is only vaguely democratic, and with consistent attacks on voting rights, it'll become much more obvious to those who still want to believe we live in a truly democratic nation. America is a corporate plutocracy, which is basically oligarchy combined with corporatism. A plutocracy is literally a nation run by the richest of its citizens. So a corporate plutocracy is a nation run or overwhelmingly dominated and dictated by corporations, which in turn are run by the wealthy minority in America. That's a pretty easy charge to make, knowing how much control corporate America has over our government in the form of lobbying and campaign finance. This article by Donna Brazile merely continues the trend of uncovering that unspoken reality about American democracy, that it's just not that democratic.